My name is Sunday Bada. I am here again to teach you guys how to solve JAMB past question, mathematics for year 2021. Let's begin. Twice a number, x, is added to 5. The result is at least 11. Now, let's interpret this question. Twice a number, the number has been given to us, which is x twice. It means that x plus x equals to 2x. That's a twice number. X plus x is added to what? To 5. And it gives us what? At least. It means that is greater than or equals to. Whenever you see at least, it means that the least number. It can be more than that. Maybe from 2 is the least. It's going to be greater than or equals to 11. Now, the twice the number x plus x is going to give us 2x plus 5 greater than or equals to 11. Now, let's collect light time. 5, jump to go and meet your elder brother at the other side. 2x less than or equals to 11. When the minus jump, is going to change to what? Minus 2x greater than or equals to 11 minus 5 is going to give us 6. Now, let's divide both sides by 6. Coefficients of x. Here 2, here 2. 2 here 1, 2 here 1. 2 here 1. How many 2 can we see in 6? 3. Our final answer is going to be s equals to less than or equals to 3. Do we have the answer there? Yes, our answer is B. B. Let's move to the next question. A petrol attendant recorded the number of vehicles that bought petrol from him for the 3 hours and recorded 12 cars and 27 buses. What is the probability that the next vehicle will be a bus? Now, let's add the number together, the number of the cars and the buses together. You first add it together. The total of the probability for car and probability of what? Of bus. 12 plus 27, 7 plus 2, 9, 2 plus 1, 3. The total is what? 39. Now, what is the probability that the next vehicle will be a box? The probability will be a box. Going to say, what is the probability of the for the 20 is 27? I'm just going to say 27 divided by 39. Now, let's divide both sides. 3 can go. How many 3 can we see in 27? We see 9. How many 3 can we see here? 1. How many 3 can we see here? 3. What can go? Yes, we have 9 over 13. What can divide it again? Nothing. The probability is 9 over 13. Do we have 9 over 13 there? Yes, E. Our final answer is E. Let's move to the next question. If sine theta equals to square root of 3 over 2 and 0 is less than tan theta or less than 180 degrees. Now, let's look at this. Sin theta is square root of 3 over 2, isn't it? If we divide this one, what is the square root? Square root of 3 divided by 2 is going to give us 0.8660. And if we use sin 60 degree, you will see that it's going to give you the same thing. 660. It's going to give you the same thing. It means that this square root of 3 divided by 2 is the same thing as sin 60 degree. Now, let's change this sin 60 to cosine. We are going to change this one to cosine 60 degree. What is cosine 60 degree? It's going to give us 0.5, isn't it? If it gives us 0.5, What is this 5 represent? It's the same thing as half 1/2. This, write this 5. The point here represents 1, while the digit here 5 represent 0, 1 digit. Therefore, let's divide it. 5 here 1, 5 in 10. Yes, we have 1 here, we have 2 here. Therefore, our final answer is going to be 1/2. It's the same thing as half. Whenever you see 0.5, it means 1/2. It's the same thing. Do we have 1/2 there? Because the question says, what is the cosine theta? Our cosine theta is the same thing as cosine 60. Therefore, our final answer is 1/2. Do you have 1/2 there? Yes, C. Our final answer is what? C. Let's move to the next question. A girl on the top of a story building, 36-meter high, drop a 10 naira note on the ground below. If the angle of depression of the 10 naira note is 35 degrees, how far is the money from the girl? I want to explain something before we move forward. We have angle of depression and we have angle of elevation. Angle of elevation, for example, I have a girl, this girl here. From the level of his eyes, the line, this is the level of his eyes, which is horizontal. When questions say the angle of elevation, it means that he eyes towards up like this, upward. The angle between is towards, maybe he's looking something at the tree, and the level of his eyes, the angle between them is called angle of elevation. But when the girl drop 10 naira on the ground floor, the girl will be looking down to look at the money on the floor. It means that the angle between the level of his eyes and the line of his eyes towards down, it means that the angle here down is called angle of depression. Something that, therefore, this one is elevation. This one is angle of depression. Now let's interpret this question. A girl on the top of a building that's 6 meter high. Let's first draw the building. This is the building, isn't it? Is what? 36 meter high. And the lady, the girl, dropped 10 naira notes. Let's say the money fell from the top of the building like this. From the top of the building. They say the angle of, if the angle of depression, it means that the level of the girl eyes, let's first draw the level of the girl eyes. This is the level, horizontal. The eyes of the girl, horizontal. And the level, the line of his eyes towards downward, looking at the 10 naira when she dropped the money. When she dropped the money, is what? Is 35 degree. This is called angle of depression. But if you look towards up at the tree, that is angle of elevation. But this one, she dropped the money down. It means that she will be looking downward. His eyes will be looking downward, and the level of his eye, which is horizontal, is 35 degree. 35 degree. And how far? The question now say that, let me see, if the angle of depression is 10 naira, is drop the 10 naira is 35 degree. We are not concerned about the 10 naira note. Just ignore the 10 naira note. It's not part of the calculation at all. The question now say how far is, the question now say that how far is the money from the girl? Where is the girl? The girl is on top of this building, isn't it? Top of this building. See, how from the, how far is the money from the girl? And the money is on the ground, isn't it? Let me call it M. This is the money on the ground. How far is it? It means that from here to here. That's what the question say we should look for. Let's assume that it is X. What we don't know, that's what the question say we should look for. And now let's close the ground. This is the top of the building, the bottom of the building. and the ground where the money is, we can join it together, isn't it? There's something we usually call in the mathematics angle of alternative. If this space is 35 degree and this space will also be what? 35 degree. It is called angle of alternative angle. If this way is 35, this way will be 35. If you look at it, they are the same thing. The way they curve is the same thing. Now, this space will be what? 90 degree. Angle 90 degree. Now, what can we use to solve this question? Is it sine theta is equal sine theta or tan theta? So represent ka and toa. So ka toa. This sign is opposite and apothenon. If you look at x is apothenon. 36 is opposite. It means that we are going to use sine 35. We have the degree already, which is 35 degrees. Therefore, sine 35 degree equals to what is our opposite? Because opposite is the first thing. Opposite is 36. Why the hypotenuse is what? X, what we are looking for. Now, what are we going to do now? We are going to cross multiplication. Multiply this by this and multiply this by this. X multiplied by sine theta, x multiplied by sine 35 degree equals to 36 times 1 is going to give us 36. What is sine? Now let's divide both sides by the sine 35 because we are trying to substitute for x. 36 divided by sine 35 degree, isn't it? What is our sine 35? Sine 35 is going to give us 0.5735. 36 divided by 0.5735. Now let's divide it. 36 divided by 0.5735. 36 divided by 0.5735 is going to give us 62.77. Our final answer is 72.76. Let me write the final answer here. S is going to give us 62.76. 36 divided by 0.5735. Do we have 62.76 there? Yes. Our final answer is what? E. Final answer is E. Let's move to the next question. A boy leaves a station X on a bearing of 35 degrees to a station of Y, which is 21 kilometers away. He then travels to another station Z on a bearing of 125 degrees. If Z is directly east of X, what is the distance from X to its present position? Now let's draw the bearing. Let's draw it from here. This is X. This is north. This is south. This is east. This is west, isn't it? And from here to here is 90 what? 90 degree. Now we want to count 35 so that we can draw the line from the 35 degree based on what the question says, that the bearing of 35 degree. We now count it from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 35. The middle one here is 45. We just count it from here is 35 degree. It means that from here to here it is 35 degree, isn't it? We now draw how many? 21 kilometers away. So to station of where? Station of Y. So this station of Y. This is 35 degree. And the question say, it said that 21 away. Let me write the 21 here. Yeah, it means that 21 kilometers away from X. 21 kilometers away, which is 21 kilometers. Now, the question now say, it then When question say e then, it mean that e continue for where e stopped. E stop at this Y, the boy. Now e then to another station Z on a bearing of 125 degree. How can we draw the 25 degree? We see that from here to here is 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 90. E now count from 91 to here, another 90, making 180 degree for the straight line. But now we are not going up to 180 degree. We want to stop at 125 degree. Based on the question, here to here is 90. 91, 92, 93, 125 will stop here. It means that we now drop 125 from here. So the question now say from here to here now going to give us 25 degree. That's what the question say, 25 degree, but the question did not tell us the distance, isn't it? The question now say further that if Z is directly east of X, what is the east of X here? Say is direct. So we are going to say, draw this one, east. This is the east of X. Is direct to the east of X. Now we now stop here. So this is our Z. This one will be what? Z station. Direct east of X. Direct east, because this is east of X. Now let's begin to solve this question now. What is the question now say we should look for? What is the distance from X to its present position? Where is present position? Here, Z. Yeah, the boy is here, present position, and from X, it means that from here, the distance from X to Z, that's what the question said that we should look for. Let's call it X. That's what we are looking for. And the from what it would be the angle of here. You know, the angle of a straight line is 180. From here to here is 120 degree already. And the remaining one here is going to give us what? It's going to give us, that will give us 55. When you say 180 minus this 125 for angle of a straight line, it's going to give you 55 degree here. And if this face is 35, and here will be also what? 35. Angle of what? Angle of alternative angle. Here will be 35. So what will now be the total of here? Total of this angle is going to give us 35 plus 55, 60. That is going to give us 90 degree. Now let's proceed. What's the question now say? You said that we should look for the angle here. What is the distance from S to what? To Z here. If you look at here, the beginning, we have 35 degree, bearing of 35 degree. What is going to be our bearing for the remaining one? You know, from here to here is 90 degree. When you remove 90, let's say 90 degree minus 35 degree, it's going to give us what? It's going to give us 55 degree, isn't it? It means that this place will be 55 degree. So that the total from here to this, so from here to here is going to give us what? 55 degree. And I said that to know the angle of this Y, 35 degree plus 55 degree is going to give us what? 35 degree plus 55 degree is going to give us, that is going to give us 90 degree. It means that from here to here is going to give us 90 degree. Now we are going to use sine rule to solve this question. If you look at here, distance is here 21 kilometer. We need to know the angle of this face, angle of this Z side. So 90 plus 55 is going to give us what? 145. 145. Now say that 180 minus 140. Let me do the calculation correctly. So the total of a triangle must be 180. The sum of the total must be 180. Since we have the two angle here, we are going to add it and minus it from the 180. We are going to have 145 degree. What is it going to give us the remaining one? It means that this place is going to give us 35 degree. Now we have complete of here angle of this side and the side of this side. But we have angle of Y, but we don't have the side here, kilometer here. Therefore, we are going to use sine rule. Sine rule, therefore, the complete one, Z is complete, while Y is not complete. Y has angle, but it does not have the side. Like I said, we are going to use sine rule. Therefore, we are going to use sine rule for Y and Z. Sine Z over small letter of Z, sine capital letter Y over small y. Now, what is our sine Z? The angle, which is 35. I'm going to say sine 35 degree over what is opposite, the side opposite of this Z. It is 21 kilometer. Put 21 here. Y2, what is the angle of sine Y? Is 90 under this Y. 90 degree. Say sine 90 degree over small y. What is the small y? That's what we are looking for. Let me open another page because this space is occupied. I don't want to clean this page. Let's continue from this page. What is our sine 35? Now, don't let me use the sine 35 first. Let us cross multiply first. Cross multiplication. Well, sine 35 multiplied by x is going to give us sine 35 degree. And 21 multiplied by sine 90 degree. Now divide both sides by sine 35. Sine 35 degree divided by sine 35 degree. Here call this one, here call this one. So we have only x here. Now what is our sine 90? Sine 90 is 1. Therefore, sine 90 is what? Is 1. 21 times 1 is going to give us 21. What is our sine 35? Sine 35 is 0.57335. Now let's divide it. 21 multiplied by 1 is going to give us 21. 21 divided by 0.5735. It gives us 36.661. Now our final answer for x is what? 36.61. Let's go to the previous page to check our answer. Yes, our final answer is what? E. It means that the distance from x to its present position is 36.61 kilometer, which is E. Our final answer is what? E, kilometer. Let's move to the next question. If the bearing of Lagos from Abuja is 199.9 degree, what is the bearing of Abuja from Lagos? When you have question like this, from which is Abuja, that's where you will start from. Now let's begin to solve this question. Wherever you see this question, something like this, start from where the question say from Abuja. It means that that's the starting point. Let's start from the starting point, which is A. Don't start from the bearing of Lagos. No, start from. It means that that is the beginning of that journey. From here to here is what? 90 degrees, isn't it? From here to here is another 90. 90 plus 90 is 180 degree. And the question say that 199 bearing, 199.9. This is 180. It means that we still need additional of 19 degrees. From here, 180, 181, 182, 199 is going to stop here. Therefore, we are going to move down to Lagos. From here to here is what? Lagos, isn't it? It means that from here to here, everything is what? 199.9 degree, based on what the question says. Yes, based on what we draw here, that's 199 degree. Now the question is now asking us question, what is the bearing of Abuja from Lagos? Okay, this is from Lagos. Wherever you see from, that's what is asking you, the bearing from that Lagos. What is the bearing of it? Okay, let's calculate it together. You know, from year to year, angle of a straight line is 180, isn't it? And the remaining one from here, is going to be 199.9 minus 180 degree is going to give us what? 19.9 degree, isn't it? It's going to give us 19. It means that the remaining 1 year is going to give us 19.9 degree. Yeah, let me write it out here. Yeah, like I was saying that from here is going to give us 19.9 degree. And the question is asking us, what is the bearing from Lagos to Abuja? It means that this bearing, this is what the question is asking us. X, what is the bearing to draw to Abuja? To draw to Abuja like this. If we have 19 here, here will be also be what? 19.9 degree. It is called angle of alternative angle. Something like this. Let me draw it again because I think that place is not neat again. This one is A, this one is Lagos. If this place is 19.9, this place will be what? 19.9. Alternative angle. It is called alternative angle. Our final answer is therefore 19.9 degree. E. E. Let's move to the next question. Two parallel chords of a circle are respectively 48 centimeter and 40 centimeter long. If the radius of the circle is 25 centimeter and the center of the circle lies between the two chords, what is the distance between the chord? Now, the chord, let me draw the circle. Let me first draw the circle. This is the circle. From here to here is one chord. This is called chord. From here to here again, like I was saying, from here to here is one chord, and this is another chord. And this is the center of a circle, isn't it? And we were told that the radius of the circle is 25 centimeter. Radius can join from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, anywhere. Let's say from here to here, it is called radius, isn't it? Which is 25. And from here to this here again is another radius, 25 centimeter, which is radius, isn't it? Now we want to form from the chord. You were told that the chord, one chord is 48, the other one is 40 centimeter, isn't it? Let me say this place is 48 and this place is what? 40 centimeter, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes. Now we were told that what is the question is asking us, what is the distance between the chord? It means that this is first chord, first one, and this is second chord. The question is asking us that what is the distance between them? Let me now draw it like this. That's from here to here. This question is asking us that what is the distance from here to here? This is first chord, this is second chord. What is the distance between the two of them? Now, what you are going to do is that you are going to look for here. I can call this space X and I call this space Y because I have cut them into two. I'll cut them into two. It means that X plus Y. Therefore, the X plus Y is the total distance from the chord, from the two chords, the distance X and Y, the first one and the second one. What am I going to do here is that this 48, I'm going to divide it into two. If I divide 48 into two, what is it going to give me? 48 divided by 2, here 2, here 4. It's going to give me 24. It means that from here to here will be 24, and here will be 24 as well. If I divide this 40 into 2, it's going to give me 20, 20. Here 20, and here will be 20. Now these two, let me draw them out so that we can understand what I'm saying. From here, x plus the total of what we are looking for the distance based on the question is that x plus x. That's what we are looking for. The distance between the two chord. Let me draw them out from here to here. It means that here will be 24 because we have divided the chord into 2, 48. And here will be 20. We have divided it into 2. And here will be radius, which is 25. And here will be what? 25. What is the answer here and are we going to get here? We are going to use Pythagoras theorems to look for the what? The distance between these two chords. The first one, we are going to use the first one is like this: x raised power 2 equals to the hypotenuse is the longest distance in the triangle. Whenever you want to find the other side from triangle, we are going to use minus hypotenuse minus opposite or hypotenuse minus adjacent. Therefore, we are going to say 25 raised power 2 minus 24 raised power 2. We get our x raised power 2, 25 raised power 2. What is 25 times 25? To give us 625 minus what is 24 times 24? It's going to give us 576. Therefore, let's minus it. X raised power 2 equals to 62, 625 minus 576. What is it going to give us? It's going to give us 49. Now, therefore, when you drop it, the square root on that 49, what is our square root of 49? It is 7. Isn't it? That's 7. Now, let's go to another page to do the second one, to look for the side of the y. Look for the side of the y. Therefore, the y will be x raised power 20, 25 power minus minus 20. Yes, 20 here. 20. Let's continue. 20 raised power 2. Y raised power 2. What is the 25 multiplied by 25? It's going to give us 625. 625. 20 times 20 is going to give us 400. Yes, it's going to give us 400. Therefore, 625 minus 400 is going to give us what? 225. So it's going to give us 225. Now, just drop your square root on the raised power on the 225. What is the square root of 225? It's going to give us 15. The question said that we should look for the distance between the first chord and the second chord. Now, for the x, what did we get for the x? We get x for 7 and y we get 15. Therefore, the total of the distance between these two, therefore, to get the distance between the two chords, going to be x plus y, isn't it? What is our x? Our x is 7 and our y is what? 15. What will now be the total? 7 plus 15 is going to give us 22. 22 centimeter. That is it. And do we have 22 there? Yes. Our answer is what? C. Final answer is E. C. Let's move to the next question. What is the inequality? What is the inequality represented by the unshaded region below? The shaded one is different from its origin because the original equation is 2x minus 3y equals to 6. Since the unshaded, the question is asking or unshaded, is going to be what? Less than That's what you are going to use. Less than or equals to 6 is the same equation you are going to use. 2x minus 3y equals to or less than equals to, which one has less than or equals to 6? A, option A. Your final answer is going to be A. Let's move to the next question. If st equals to square root of, let me write out the question, equals to the square root a plus c over a. Now the question say that what does t equate to? We need to substitute for what? For t. The next thing we are going to do is that let's do what? Let's cross multiplication. Cross multiply divided by 1 is the same thing as st. Now let's cross multiply. St multiplied by a is going to give us what? Sta equals to square root of a plus t bracket t, isn't it? Now this square, we are going to remove it. How do we remove it? When you remove a square, you will just drop it back to these three letters. Now say s raised power 2, t raised power 2, a raised power 2. Now we have removed the square root. We are going to have a plus c bracket c. Now the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to open this bracket. T times a, ta. T times t, t raised power 2. 2 square, a square. T times a is ta. So t times t, t raised power 2. Now we have t2 here and we have t2 here. What we are going to do here is that let's do what? Let's move them together. Now, how do you move it together? This t plus t raised power 2, if it jump equals, is going to change to minus. S raised power 2, t raised power 2 minus t raised power 2 equals to ta that is left here. Now, let's factorize this t2 because the common here that common between here is t raised power 2, t raised power 2 here. Let me divide this page so that we continue from there. The common factor is what? T raised power 2 going to bracket it. What is going to remain? Is going to remain s raised power 2 and a raised power 2 minus t2. We cancel t2. It's going to give us 1, isn't it? Equals to ta. Now we have t here and we have t raised power 2 here. We can divide this side by t so that we reduce the number of t we have here. As if a, we are trying to substitute for a. Divide this side by t. Divide this side by t. T here 1, t here 1. When you remove one t out of this t, it's going to remain 1 t, isn't it? T here 1, t here is going to remain 1 t. Therefore, t bracket s raised power a raised power 2 minus 1 bracket, what is going to remain here? A, isn't it? Now we are trying to substitute for what? T. Coefficients of t is what? All this one, this bracket. We are going to divide this, all these brackets by 2 s power 2 minus 1 bracket s power 2 a raised power 2 minus 1. Here cancel here cancel here. Our final answer we are going to have is a equals to s raised power 2 a raised power 2 minus 1 bracket. This is our final answer. Do we have this here? A is not the option, B is not the option, C is not the option, D is our final answer. Final answer is what? D. Let's move to the next question. What is the radius of the parallel of latitude 55 degree north of a globe whose radius is 18 meters correct to the nearest whole number. There is formula for this if you want to calculate the radius of the parallel latitude. The global radius, globe radius, this one, the formula we are going to use is capital letter radius cos theta. This is the formula we are going to use for this. This theta represents the latitude. What is our latitude there? Our latitude is 55 degree north. Is our latitude. Now the radius, the big radius for the globe radius is 18 meter, and the small radius is this one. The question is asking us, what is the radius of the parallel of the latitude? Now let's apply it. What is the bigger radius? 18 multiplied by cosine 55 degree. 18. What is the cosine 55 degree? It gives us 0.5. It gives us 57.35. Now let's multiply it by 18. It gives us radius. It gives us 10.32. The question said that nearest, correct to nearest whole number. Therefore, our final answer, the 3 is not up to 5 and above, is 10. Final answer is 10 meter. Do you have 10 there? Yes, D. D. This is our last question. This is our last question for this part of this video. Thank you for listening. I remain Sunday Bada. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye bye.